Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ubuntu Touch Q&A, the UBports Foundation show discussing the development of Ubuntu Touch, our community's questions, and sometimes a little something different. This is episode 100, streamed live on May 8th, 2021. My name is Dalton, and joining me this week are Florian,
Hello.
Marius,
Hello.
and Alfred.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, folks, it's episode 100.
How did this happen?
I don't know. Can you believe it's been 4 years of this already? Just over. A month over. But
4 years.
I know.
Nope.
It's like... And in this episode, we aren't going to look back too terribly much on what's happened before, because we have other episodes where we do that. We usually do it, around Christmas time. We get a little sentimental. But today's going to be all about today and the future of Ubuntu Touch. And don't worry, we aren't going to say anything scary. We aren't announcing, Ubuntu Touch DX or whatever.
Or are we?
It's all right. Or are we? No, we aren't.
Continue to watch to find out.
Oh, shoot. I don't have very good showmanship, do I? Yeah. Thank you all for joining me this week. I'm happy to have you with me again. Let's talk a little bit about what's been going on in the present first, and then we'll get to the super special stuff that we have planned today. So little bit of news first. Ubuntu Touch OTA 17 call for testing is happening right now. OTA 17 is planned to release on Wednesday, May 12th. So if you're listening to this late, I hope you're enjoying OTA 17. Of course, this isn't the 2004 upgrade for Ubuntu Touch. We aren't switching from Ubuntu 16.04 to 20.04 yet. There will be more OTAs based on 16.04 before we get there. However, this update includes a few nice things contributed by the community, including a Macedonian keyboard layout, and fixes for word prediction not loading on Swiss French or English Dvorak layouts. We have NFC support for Android 9 devices. Good job, Alfred. So your shiny Pixel 3a can read and write NFC tags now. Or do just about anything else that you can figure out how to do with NFC-D. We're waiting for you to figure that out. We expect it.
Yeah. Get some data.
We accidentally fixed camera flash, zoom, rotation, and focus on many devices, including the OnePlus One.
Pretty much all devices we fixed it on.
Yeah, to explain, the fix was for Android 9 devices, and we thought that it would only apply there. And then we applied it to every device, and they all started working.
They spring to life.
Yeah.
And
It's such a weird issue because it's how the driver works on Android, and just if they get a parameter wrong, they just refuse to work with any parameters.
you said something wrong. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah, it just does it in the wrong way. Even though everything else is wrong, but you have one parameter wrong, and it's like, nope, I don't want to deal with this. But I'm going to take the picture, though.
Your phone throws a temper tantrum. It's kind of funny. But yeah, that magic was great. Thanks, Nikita. Marius, do you want to talk about the experiments you've been doing with QtMirror? They sound
Yes.
pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. So I've been experimenting well, first I will start with the boring stuff. So I have made redo my patch for doing the GL texture patch, which is the new buffers from Mirror, the new buffer format. This would include that we get mirror support, newer mirror support, like 2.0 and further, but also that we get Wayland support once that is merged into to the Android platform. The PinePhone has been using this experimental crappy patch by me for a little while now, but now it's completely rewrite. I now use fancy subclasses and everything, so it has like 0 CPU classes to do stuff. I myself is happy with the patch, and it's out for review now. But the more special part is that I've been experimenting with multi-display and how to do multi-display and doing multi-window on different screens. So now I have a patch where the Qt Mirror demo and also Lumiri can do like the standard desktop multi-display where you can drag windows around and it just works, and it's like it's pretty good. I like it. That also is up on a experimental branch on GitLab if you want to try that.
Which one?
I think it's called Personal Marrow Grip Experimental or Experiments or something like that in Qt Mirror.
Is it actually possible to run it anywhere?
Yes, on Focal.
Yes, it works.
Oh, all right.
You can run it on Fedora, you can run it on Manjaro, you can run it everywhere, basically.
Can anyone install it
It is in
without
Debian.
knowledge of how to, do the thing?
No, not
Okay.
the patch itself. You can install Qt Mirror on Debian, but that's about it.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
that doesn't have the patches.
So it'll be a learning experience if you want to get this.
Yeah, it's just a demo, so I'm not sure why you would
Yeah.
buy. I mean,
So you've shown videos of, you have two windows open, and they're obviously two windows that are being run by Qt Mirror under X, and you're
Yes.
dragging windows between them, which is crazy to look at because you've got a window under a window and you're dragging windows between the windows. Yo, dog.
I wish I could show that in here, but I guess I can't.
No, because it'll only show one window at a time. Yo, dog. Sorry.
I mean, I can show the video, I guess.
Can you? While you work on that, I'll talk a little bit about Focal, eh?
Yeah,
All
do
right.
that.
Happy birthday, Shin. So, in Focal, Ubuntu 2004, Ubuntu Touch based on Ubuntu 2004. There's a few things happening that are pretty exciting, bringing us closer to some big milestones. So, AppArmor EasyProf, which is the thing that allows Ubuntu Touch apps to be confined and only say, I use network, I use camera, and not have to, do a bunch of custom rules or stuff. Now has systemd units and scripts available, so it'll rebuild clicks on boot like it's supposed to. And Lumiri app launch, which is what Lumiri calls to actually launch apps, put them all in a little group so that they can be managed as a group. So even if you have one app that spawns 1,000 processes, they'll all be messed with at once. Although please don't do that, that would probably be pretty slow to suspend. And not only do we have Lumiri app launching apps under systemd, that's a big step. But Rachanan, that work was done by Rodney, Rachanan is close to getting Lumiri itself running as a user session under systemd. Well, I mean, he's had it running, but he isn't entirely happy with the results yet, so we can't call it complete yet. But Lumiri as a user session under systemd on Ubuntu 2004. That's pretty exciting. That's close to the point where we can start building images. We've got Lumiri, we've got apps, we can build images. So, it would be understatement for me to say that I'm excited about these changes. I'm elated. It's been a really fun couple of weeks, and with the freeze and Xennial, that means there's been a lot more happening on Focal. We've got a lot going on. It makes me happy. Is this working, Marius?
Yes.
Okay, add it to stream. Oh! It's two windows of Unity running a window underneath them. This is... oh boy. Oh, that's Qt Mirror?
That's Qt Mirror, yeah.
Okay. Wow. You have a window running under Qt Mirror. And a window that you can drag between two windows.
This is two windows running on top of X. and then there's a window running on Wayland inside the two windows running X. it's like, yo, dog.
Oh boy.
Like,
All right, that's pretty fun. I like that.
I mean, it's buttery smooth in real life, but the video is a bit chunky because it was a GIF that I converted to an MP4 and then. So,
Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. I can't wait to see it. I know it'll be a while until we see it, deployed for a bunch of users, but that's pretty cool stuff.
The way he did it actually was pretty fun, I have to admit.
oh yeah, it's not that many lines of code.
Oh, that's right. You just changed like an X and a Y around, and it started working again.
A little bit more than that, but in essence, yes.
Oh, that was fun. All right. So those are the experiments. Those are the news this week. Yeah, a lot of fun happening. Please help us test Ubuntu Touch OTA 17 if you can. The call for testing post is out on ubports.com/blog. We'd love to see you help us out. Okay. Now, do I get to do the special thing? Is it time?
Yes.
All right. So, we've got something extra special here for y'all today. We thought that for Q&A 100, we would flip the script, and instead of people asking us questions, we would ask the community questions. So, excuse me. I interviewed a bunch of people from the community about a few, what they like about the community, who they are, what they do outside of UBports, because, geez, that can be just as interesting as what they do inside of UBports. And got a lot of responses, what people like about the community, how they got started contributing, what they were using before. And it was a lot of fun to interview everyone. We edited it down, and we had about 3 hours of raw content. We have edited it down to about 4 minutes. So there was just so much content to go through. We could have made a much longer video, but we wanted something that was snappy and told the story of this is who the community is, this is why we do it, and this is why you should join us too. And we're going to play it now.
My name is Terence.
Ari.
I'm Ricardo.
Hi, well, yeah, I'm Mom. The internet knows me as Mom.
Name's Nigel.
I'm Puji. I'm from the Philippines.
My name is Matthew.
I am Mauricio Duarte.
I am a software developer.
I have worked in upper secondary education in Norway.
I work in retail.
Self-employed gardener.
I am a decorator / sign writer. That means I paint signs, which is like really old-fashioned.
I'm a chambermaid and a DJ.
Well, inside the community.
Inside the community.
I
mostly do UX design.
I am good at explaining stuff, so I can help people with interface questions. But I'm also asking a lot of questions myself because there's a lot of stuff that I'm trying to make happen and haven't found a way to do so yet.
I'm pretty active in the Telegram groups and forum.
I originally started as a community manager for the UBports project.
Before Ubuntu Touch, I would always have an Android device.
I don't remember the exact device, but I was using Android.
Android.
It was some variant of Android.
So I've been trying to get away from Google, which, as we all know, is pretty hard.
I came from using desktop Linux.
And phones were a natural progression from there.
I was there when they announced Ubuntu Touch on the phone during Jono's Q&As.
I was fascinated right away by the whole edge gesture thing.
Having the possibility of using a phone that gave me the freedom and the privacy.
For me, it's the natural way to go. If I use Linux in my computer, I should be able to use Linux on my phone, and that was my route.
but I like it so much that I want it on all the things.
And then Canonical dropped the project, and I was really sad.
And we all kind of came together and was like, okay, we'll continue this on and see what we can do and try our best to make sure this project continues. And I mean, it's been years, so I think we can say that was a success.
When UBports took over the project, I started doing actual code contribution.
So I've been trying to port the Samsung S7.
I was curious because I happened to have a OnePlus One, and it was listed as a very usable device on the devices page of UBports. So I thought, let's give this a try. Let's try this out for a week or two. Those week or two have never ended. They're still ongoing.
And I thought, well, writing things like this, writing guides and stuff is what I do at work. So that gave me a chance to contribute. People were helping me, and I thought maybe I could help also.
I did one contribution to the settings app in Ubuntu Touch. That was for the Libertine settings. The package installation dialog had some bugs in it.
Oh, another thing that's really, really cool. This is my Pebble Steel. Works with Ubuntu Touch seamlessly.
My favorite part about the UBports community is that it recaptures the spirit of the early days of Ubuntu.
Well, I think collaboration is great. Sharing opinions with other people, understanding their points of view.
There are so many people that are doing their best effort to make this happen. And
there's the excitement and wonder of something new.
But at the same time, I really like the way it's a sort of a collective effort to build something that everyone's passionate about.
It felt like you all are good people. So I wanted in on that.
I just like the feeling of creating ideas and then making them into reality.
It's something people do because they're interested in it. They're doing it in their spare time. They're devoting a lot of time to helping each other, and I just like the way that works.
It's a thing that feels good, especially in times like these. Doing stuff together towards what I see as a better world. It's not so bad.
All right. That whole thing just puts a big dumb smile on my face.
I'm not crying, don't ask.
Excellent.
Oh,
no,
man. I didn't see it before.
Yes, we didn't see it before, so Dalton, that was a nice surprise. Thank you so much for the hard work.
Oh my god.
And for cutting this down and being our surprise man today, yeah.
Okay,
it's really thrilling, yeah.
This was edited by NerdZoom Media, to be clear. And geez, they did an excellent job.
Thank you, the other
Marius, you need a minute?
No, good.
So there were a few interviews where just the excitement and the passion on the other end did make me tear up a few times. They didn't keep any of that in. Thank goodness. Wow, it was a great experience to talk to everyone, and I learned a lot about how different people use Ubuntu Touch, and about, what makes them tick, what makes them want to continue to be in the community. So thank you everyone who joined me. I'm sorry that we couldn't, put everything into this video, but we had about 3 hours of content, so taking that down to 4 minutes was a challenge. Release the 4 hour Snyder cut. I'm not sure about that. That'd be a lot of work, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. It made me think that maybe we need to get more people on the show to interview, community members about what they're doing, after episode 100, because it's been us four for a while.
Oh man, I know you sent me the video, but I didn't watch it.
I know.
Because I wanted it as a surprise, and man, that
hit hard, huh?
That hit. Yeah, I love this community so much, but this really put something in my heart. Oh my god.
All right. Well, you need another minute, or should we start
No,
going?
no.
All right. You'll keep
Go
it
on.
together.
I'm not crying. You are.
Well, I suppose it is an appropriate time to not only thank all the people who helped me put that together, because my goodness, that was a lot of work. But also thank the people who make the rest of the work that we do possible. So I'd like to give a small big thank you to, that's not the right title. I'd like to give a small big thank you to our sponsors, including Smooze, Vala, Pine64, and Private Internet Access, for making, excellent productions like that possible. I couldn't have spent the time to do that and without them. I'd also like to thank our community sponsors, including Travis Mackmer, Amalith, Rasknignaris, Incensfell, Dan Trevino, Daniel Fransak, Robin Hood, Laszlo Tomas, Ian Locke, Max Fielder, A. Thiel, Casey Lambie, George Toma, Renat Mirkolev, Will Atwood, and Scott Marley. If you want to join them and have me mispronounce your name as well, you can head over to patreon.com/UBports and pick the community sponsor level. Or head over to ubports.com/donate and help us out through a bunch of other ways, including PayPal or tax-deductible IBAN or, whatever works in your jurisdiction. We are tax-deductible in some jurisdictions. It's kind of neat. But yeah. And a big thanks to everyone else who's at ubports.com/sponsors making this all possible. No, my voice isn't breaking up. Yeah. Just thank you for making this all possible. Okay. So, while we're busy flipping the script on this whole Q&A thing, instead of the community asking us questions, I ask the community questions. And now, instead of the community asking us questions, I'm going to ask these 3 questions, and I hope that they ask me back at some point. So you all know that I sent this to you a few days ahead of time, so this isn't a surprise for you. I want to talk about... We've done this whole thing for 4 years now. A couple of us have been here for longer, but it's been 4 years since we picked up the Ubuntu Touch project. What challenges over the next 4 years do you see us facing? And what do you think will need to change so that we can overcome them? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I want to pick Florian first.
Ooh. Well, so I have some roles in that community developed over time. So one of them is, of course, that I'm in the board of directors as a member, and I'm interested in the well-being of the foundation and of the project as such, of course. And I can see a lot of challenges around that coming while we are trying to grow everything. So, but that basically on the foundation level, it boils down to how much support can we get. Be it support that is just coming from the community by people that like us and fans in terms of their contributing just in their free time, or be it to evolve options to hire people, to contract people to actually work for us and getting paid for that. Because to be honest, if we want to start growing stuff, we will need more hands and we will need focused hands. So one of the biggest challenges that I see is that we have really to increase the possibilities we can do with money in our hands. Yeah? And that sounds a bit silly now, or a bit, just like, oh, please begging for money. But the thing is really, if you look on other foundations that have come the same way, or other projects that came the same way, they all started at very small. But if you start growing something out like that, at a certain point, you're really depending on a continuous income for resources and for for options that you have in form most of the times in monetary form, let's say. So one of the challenges that I think that's important for the next already year or so is to really set up a funding culture for us where we are going to expose our ideas not only to private people, to all you of the community, to all the small donations that we are getting. That's already fine, but really need to come to a level where we have institutional sponsors, and that can be companies, that can be government agencies, I don't know, other foundations that are going to invest money into us. Everything that we can convince that our cause, our mission is a good one, and that they want to see it thrive and succeed. Yeah? And we kind of overlooked that over the last years because we were so much putting effort into growing the tools, the technology, the community people, more of the technical part. Yeah? Our challenge is also that we have a non-technical part that we have to evolve and to grow. And that means things like doing marketing properly and doing relations with other communities and that stuff, social work. And I think that's something we have to invest more. And it will not be easy because it's easy to put something on the internet today, just put it there, but you also need to convince people that it's cool. But actually, that also comes to a second reformulation of that question. Is not only how we would get more money, but also how we can convince people that we are really having something in our hands, that we have a tool for them that makes their life better. And that can be also not only private people, but also companies and institutions and even maybe governments to say, look, guys, this is an alternative phone operating system. You can do this and this and this with it. And they say, yeah, cool, we will not take it and we will give you a kind of a small donation for this back. But creating a value not only for the people that's already using it, but also for newer communities and newer, let's say, not really customers, but people that want an alternative, but they're not sure how they can do it. Yeah. We need to get a little bit more attention to, let's say, our real business here, besides coding all day. And I will try to help that, but it will need a lot of other hands as well.
Mm-hmm. And I know that you have been working on business relationships and some pretty cool stuff that is coming down the pipe.
Exactly, yeah.
So.
I cannot talk about it directly, but we have one or two cool projects upcoming, and it's already starting. Yeah, so we made already the first steps, but we really need to continue it, and it's also a nice experience to do something out of your normal routine, even if it's just numbers and budgeting and contracts and lawyers. But that's also a necessary part. Yeah.
Yep. And big thanks to you for handling it. Much better than I ever could, for sure. Yeah, I like that take on it. The business end side of things is something that a lot of people might not consider all that often. So, having someone like you to watch over the business side of this stuff, you and Ewald and Ricardo, and it's very nice to have you around telling us, what's coming up.
Yeah, I also must say thank you to my other board members, besides Marius, of course. We have people in the background that are not so often here. I think Ricardo was on one Q&A. It's a long time ago, maybe
just
2 or 3 years. Yeah. Ewald was never on a Q&A, and there are also people helping us now with, tax reports and that things. And we have also a lawyer that helps us now and then to do contractual work. So, those are all in the background. There are more people that you can normally see here on Q&As and even see on Telegram or on the forum. There is a kind of I don't want to call it back office, but there is a supporting group that takes over things that are not so visible. And I want also to say thank you very much on that occasion that we have Q&A 100 for doing this work in the background. and never coming into the light so much. We will try to drag you into the spotlight maybe again from this point of view.
Kicking and screaming.
Yes, maybe that would work out. I mean, yeah. Because I think it's important, yeah, to show a little bit also the people that just there, and I think that's also a goal. Yeah, as you said, bring in more people to the Q&A. Sometimes that are not here all the time. I mean, you have seen our faces now for 100 times or something like that. On average, maybe not that much, yeah, because not everybody was on every show. But yeah, you get it. Seeing new faces here on the channel could be cool. Yeah?
I wonder if
that was
anyone.
another reason.
I wonder if anyone has watched every episode.
Boy, I hope not. Those early ones were really rough.
Yeah, the early ones are rough. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Google Hangouts for the win.
I've got big hair and big headphones. Don't go back and watch those, everyone. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't watch the number one.
I want. That's another thing that I wanted to do with the video, which, by the way, is going to be released after this as well. We've got it uploaded to YouTube already, and just ready for final checks and publishing. A love letter to the community from our community. I wanted to show that there's lots of people here. We do all sorts of different things. You should join us. John says, I've watched every episode and I want my I saw every episode badge. Uh-oh. Time to binge, says Fuse Team.
So all of the episodes are still here on the YouTube channel. You can really binge them if you like. I don't recommend it though. Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd recommend that one, but you could do it.
It's more
over
than
100 hours.
More than 100 hours because we overshot a lot of times. We overshot the 1 hour mark. So yeah.
Oh no. Well, good luck. If anyone does that, I don't know what I'll do for you, but let me know.
How many days is 100 hours? That's 4 days. 4.1 days. Jesus.
Never sleep.
You never sleep. Like it's like over a weekend. You just watch us. I wonder how tired you would be from us now. After
I think you would fall asleep to at least one of our voices. I mean, some of us are pretty annoying, but
yeah, we should do like every other episode. You should have like wake up in it.
Are you listening to me? So, Marius, how about you? What challenges do you see coming to Ubuntu Touch over the next 4 years? How do you think we're going to come up to meet them?
So I will take it more of a technical tech side. Of course. I will take the tech side since Florian took the business side. So on the tech side, I think like the first thing that comes to mind, like immediately, it's Volt LTE. This is absolutely a big deal. And this can be a make or break moment because if, or not even if, when all these cell tower providers or cell providers is shutting down 5G and 4G, we will have no way of sending SMS and calls.
Right.
Which luckily isn't happening anytime soon, especially in America and the EU, but this has already happened in countries like India for some carriers. I understand there is some carriers that still operate with the older bands, but this is gonna be like we talk about focal and stuff like that being big task, and yes, they are absolutely big task, but this is one that is like technically upgrading to focal isn't required. I mean, it is required, but it's not
It absolutely is, but we could keep running forever on Xennial if we were masochists.
Exactly. But without Volt LTE, we will essentially become an unusable platform when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think it will happen in 4 years? No.
Really?
But in some places, yes.
Okay.
But in Europe, no.
Okay.
In
You
the
think the
United
IoT
States.
is too strong, huh?
Yes, it definitely is.
Huh.
But
All right.
maybe they will shut down for consumer market. That might happen.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's the thing. We are entering an unknown. I don't personally think it will happen in 4 years, but we should think that it should happen next year and just get it working. So that's probably my biggest concern on the technical side of things. There's also concerns of getting things up to speed, but I think we have pretty much done a really good job on that, and we are already far into the decennial to focal transition. So I don't think that would be a huge hinder. But I honestly, my biggest thing is it's on Voltage, and I do also think that we might watch out for whatever shenanigans Google find out to do with the Android.
Fuchsia?
Yeah, with Fuchsia and with the Android 3 in general, maybe they change something again. But it seemed to have stabilized now with Treble, so I hope that will be fine. But if Fuchsia comes along, then we also in big trouble. But I don't think that will ever happen. I think it's a Google project.
Google. Oh,
yeah.
Google.
Oh,
So
Google.
to the end of VoiceOver LT, I'm going to do the same thing to you. What's been going on so far? I think you've had some stuff happening there.
I'm not quite sure what you need. What can I do for you?
Who was that? I was asking Marius, not you.
my robot friend. Can you repeat that before?
What's been going on VoiceOver LTE? I mean, I think you've had a couple hack sessions on it already.
Yeah, well, not a couple. We had one. We had one hack session, and we tried to get Java working on the Android side or on the Halium side. And I got it to build. It builds one of a million libraries. So I have a 9.9999 libraries left.
All right. But it is something. That's interesting.
It is something.
You've proved that it can be done.
Well, we still need to replace a few things and make them talk to the Ubuntu Touch side, but it's getting somewhere at least.
Can I? Yeah. I think I have to say that I am excited to see where it goes, though.
Yeah.
I have full trust in you. You know what you're talking about, so I'm more excited than afraid, but
He didn't hear that.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let him believe that I'm the source of every knowledge.
Oh man, you sell yourself short.
Yeah, I do. But also, if I do want to move into a more speculative area of it, it's just trying to catch up with new stuff that comes along. I think that also will be a big issue. Like, I don't think like VR and stuff and that will move anywhere from where it is right now in 4 years, to be honest. But there might come new technology that we haven't foreseen. There might come new form factor that we haven't foreseen.
I hope so.
I hope so, but
candy bars are really boring. I hope that we get something new in the next 4 years.
Yeah, but I also hope that they are easy to implement.
Nothing like a notch, right? That's not new. That's not new.
Like, it's not new, but it's one of these like small things that are so annoying. But there's also stuff like folding stuff. It's coming along, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Foldables. I'm not sure if they will take off because they're so fragile that people will just look at it and it breaks. But it's cool nonetheless. That would need implementation in Lumiri because that doesn't handle it. It doesn't know. It doesn't have a concept of
what the heck is a
yet.
fold? Yeah. Pine Phone 3 actually shaped like a pine cone. Conrad, let's go back to the drawing board on that one. Let's try again.
It's a circular display, and you need to turn it around to call someone.
Okay, let's stop.
Has punch holes all over the place and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Too much technology.
It's one camera in each of those pinholes.
Oh boy.
It's a 300. No, it's a 460 camera.
Seeing that from the technical angle is pretty interesting. I like that take too.
But
Alfred,
I also had one other thing to implement. Desktop. We need desktop.
You want desktop?
Yes.
I want desktop. Everyone wants
there
desktop.
There you go.
Look, in these 4 years, we need to get Lumiri to just work on desktop, and the experience need to be solid, amazing.
All right.
It needs to just work. We need to make simple components, but the simple components need to work.
I feel like you feel pretty confident about this one, given the demos that you showed earlier.
Yes.
I feel like you feel like this one's a safe bet. Should we go back in 4 years and see how many socks we have to eat after this?
I feel like this is a really solid bet to my end.
Because you're the one making it happen.
End of the year.
Whoa.
How many socks?
2 socks.
All right.
I really 2 socks.
Deep fried.
I really 2 deep fried socks if I don't get a desktop experience within the end of this year.
Oh boy, someone write that down. Here we go.
No, don't.
It's on recording. So
it's recording.
Oh, all right. So we'll check in with you at the end of the year, Marius. Everyone, remind me to check in at the end of the year, please.
Like usable. Well.
Yes.
Ooh,
fully usable.
He's
usable.
He's adding to the claim.
Oh, more socks. Let's put in the.
Fully usable. You can use it as your daily driver.
All right. I would appreciate that. I said we weren't going to announce anything big today, Marius. Knock it off. I guess that's not an announcement as much as we were already going to do that. So, Alfred, what challenges do you see Ubuntu Touch facing over the next 4 years? How do you think we're going to change to overcome them?
Good question. And first of all, because planning mostly happens like 1 year ahead, or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's hard to pinpoint things 4 years into the future. But there are a few things, or 2 things especially, that I'm concerned about. The first one is more on the community contribution side. What I would really like to see happening is making it easier for newcomers and also for people who want to give reoccurring contributions to the project, whatever sub-project it might be, whether it being Lumiri or something in Halium or stuff like that, making that easier than it is now. It is not hard to do right now, but it can be cumbersome, especially for people who need to tweak something in the root FS and need to implement a fix there. So I personally think that we could improve in that area a little bit, at least. And the second thing that I'm even more concerned about is the way that Google and Google and Apple, for that matter, have changed how smartphones look these days, and what might UBports, Ubuntu Touch have to adapt to in the future, like we had for notches. Like, we don't have a solution for notches right now. There are plans, there are initial concepts on how to do it, but Android devices have changed over the last few years, and there might be even bigger changes in the future. Who knows? So that unknown factor is something that bugs me a little, because I would hope that if we stay with the typical form factor that we're using or used to right now, if we're staying with that, make that rock solid, and whatever comes next, we might have to. I hope we do not have to go completely back to the drawing board regarding Lumiri. Would be a hard task, a lot of work, but if it has to be done, it has to be done. You know. So those are the two biggest concerns that I have about the next 4 years. But on the other hand, things are looking bright right now, and the Halium side has improved, even though Google have changed a few things here and there, and we have been able to adapt to that, like with the init ramfs less boot up and stuff like that. So we have found solutions to overcome a few issues on the technical side, and I hope the challenges remain technical so that they can be solved easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, easily.
Quote unquote. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as they are solvable, I'm happy. To be honest, I think that's.
Assuming we can put in the time to do them, given Florian's help.
Yeah.
It's always just it boils down to how many socks can one eat. That's
the
core question here.
Well, I'm not making any bets on Volt LTE. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But maybe to add one sentence to Alfred, I think that Google and also Apple, they have a little bit of a problem now that the smartphone is already such an evolved thing and such a cool thing and so powerful. You cannot just keep adding hardware to it to make new devices. So the question is, what will be their pushes that they will try to do to actually keep the people buying their stuff? Because in the end, the smartphone vendors are depending on sold devices. They are just looking for sold hardware. What is going to happen in 2 or 3 years with that hardware? Are we just adding 64 cameras? Okay, you can do that.
We are at 6 now in some phones, so
yes,
yeah.
I think by that
I'm
time,
pretty sure there's 9 cameras on a phone. At least one has like 9 cameras on it.
And we can be proud of that. We still just support one of them. Yeah, so that's really we showed it what is really necessary. No, joking. We will add maybe support for more cameras over time. But really the question is, what will be the future of the smartphone as such? Not only of Ubuntu Touch on a smartphone and of the Android versus non-Android phone things that we have ongoing, but what is really the philosophy of a smartphone in 4 years? We don't know. Yeah, it's really impossible to predict, I would say, because I don't know what will be added there still. A satellite dish maybe that you can unfold, or Netflix
Starlink dish.
24/7. I mean, foldables,
Starlink on your phone.
Wearables, all that stuff really didn't take off. VR was a hype. It's gone already again. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was kind of what I thought about for this too, is, a couple weeks ago I was watching the Apple spring cleanup event, or spring into spring, whatever they call it.
Spring into spring.
Spring into Apple. I forget what the event was called now. The one where
Spring loaded.
The one where Tim Cook was a spy and he stole a M1 processor out of a MacBook and snapped it into a and I was watching it, and they just tossed off to the side like stuff like, oh, and with handoff you can be sending a message on your phone, and you want to go onto your Mac and continue the same message, or you can be working on a presentation and move to the Mac. With our cool feature for the Apple Pencil, you snap it onto the side and it's instantly paired. And it's like, that stuff sounds pretty hard. And for the week after the spring loaded event, I was just kind of like sulking in this chair like, we'll never be able to do stuff like that. We'll never be able to have features like that. But then I started to think about it, and it's like, over the next 4 years, Apple has infinite money, for one thing. They have more money than many governments, and we don't. But also, a lot of these things are just gimmicks, not actually good for use. I won't say that handoff or pairing your Apple Pencil to your iPad is a gimmick, so don't get me wrong there. But, I also, basically the week after that, started reading a book called Digital Minimalism. And after I finished that, I reread Irresistible by Adam Alter. Both books about how people are beginning to feel trapped by their smartphones and smart devices rather than them being useful devices. And we've seen like Apple and Google try to roll this back with digital well-being features or basically just digital well-being features of like turning your screen gray after a few hours of use on your smartphone, so that, you know, it gets less interesting to your brain and hopefully you put it down at some point, or
Bore it down, dumb it down, yes.
It's to trick your brain. It's like they have created such amazing engagement platforms that people literally can't put their phones down.
Yeah.
Yes, it has become a problem.
It is a problem, and I think that
major problem.
We're going to come out of this year where people have been stuck at home, being unable to do anything but doom scroll. For anyone who isn't in the know on that term, at this point somehow, it's scrolling down the news feed on your phone endlessly and just going, "Oh God, I'm going to die."
Been there.
Yeah, so have I. I think that the biggest challenge we're going to meet over the next 4 years is getting trapped in this Ubuntu Touch needs more features train. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Ubuntu Touch being janky and teleports crashing all the time is a good thing, but it certainly keeps me off the phone all the time. Whereas if I'm carrying... Seriously, if I'm carrying an Android phone around, I can't hold a conversation with people. Full stop. And especially after this year, where most of the time I'm looking above people's heads because I'm so used to looking at a camera during a meeting, it's gotten really bad. And I think we're going to see a lot of people looking... I'm using this both as like a challenge and a strength for Ubuntu Touch. You know, people are going to be looking at their devices and saying, I don't like this. You know, this is an advertisement device. This isn't making my life better. And the challenge for us is going to be positioning Ubuntu Touch as something that can help with that. You know, not because teleports crashes all the time, but because we actually think about, okay, we're making this feature, what is that going to do to people? Whereas, you know, Facebook, Apple, Google, when they're thinking of features, oh, what can we do to people? Because for them, it's about money. It's about driving more people to use the phone more so that they can sell more advertisements, get you to use more apps, and pay for them. Whereas for us, our model isn't really the same. You know, we're humans, not necessarily motivated by an attention economy to make the most engaging phone operating system.
Right.
I think you should come from an approach with a toolbox. So think about a classical toolbox where you have a hammer and your screwdrivers inside. And every time when I need to do something around the house, I would just grab the toolbox, look for the right tool, and then get the job done. But I put it back again in this box, and then I just stow it away. Because tools are there to help you when you have a problem, but you shouldn't carry around the tool and always play with it all the time. Because if you do that with scissors or with a fork or even with a saw, you will eventually cut yourself. You will hurt yourself with a tool because you're using it for a job that it wasn't made to be meant to be used for. So I'm a very tool-oriented guy. I'm looking for a tool to do one job, and that was also the reason why I didn't really was so much intrigued by smartphones when they first came out, because I didn't see what exact problem that thing will help me to solve just by carrying it around all day. Yeah? All the things that they proposed, what makes my life more efficient and better and smarter and more comfortable, I had already other tools for that. Maybe a little bit old-shaped, maybe an email client on my desktop is just boring old because I have to fire it up when I want to see my mails. It's not going to push on me, but it was okay for me. It did the job. Yeah. come from a tooling point of view, and then everything gets a little bit easier. And of course, smartphones can be shiny, they can be blinking lights, they can have everything, yeah. But try to stay a little bit more on the gap here to say that's just the marketing part. And the technical part is a tool, but you have to choose the right thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
I mean, exactly what you're saying there is it's one mistake.
And I have to show Lucas here.
I once hammered a nail with a wireless drill and the battery on it exploded.
Well,
Don't use the wrong tool for the job.
This is exactly what I was going to say, because this is a trap that I fall in all the time, is that I'm trying to figure out ways to use a tool in multiple ways. So instead of using the hammer, I use the screwdriver to actually hammer in the screw. So
sorry, reading chat, keep going.
Yeah. So yeah. I got a bit distraction from the chat.
You, forget your sentence there.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, this is a mistake that I sometimes do, and like I'm not in real life with tools, but with technology. I mean, it's like finding ways to
we were so busy like saying, can we cram everything into this 5.5-inch black plastic and glass device, that we didn't stop to think if we should.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, they made a lot of money with it, because they just showed us it's technically possible, yeah, to crank everything inside, and then you have more demand for more space, more CPU power, more RAM, more storage. You need more photos. The photos have higher resolution. I never had the feeling I need a very good camera on my smartphone, because I have a very, very good DSLR sitting next to me with 18 megapixels.
You have the right tools.
Can I shoot 5 pictures a second in almost darkness? Yeah, and it was never up to now. It was not possible with smartphones. Now it's possible, but come on, that's not the same feeling. Yeah. Also,
we aren't suggesting that. Oh, we aren't suggesting that all these features are bad. Just that something ain't working right for us.
I mean, just to make this clear, this is not us saying that we don't care about the future. We definitely do. We do want every future.
For a retrospective
like
future.
NFC.
Ubuntu Mate.
But one of the things that we are saying here is that basically less part is good parts, right? So it's easier. That's a quote from Elon Musk, by the way.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So basically, what that means is that doing something less, but do it better. Like, do the things that you already do, but do it really well.
Like the Unix philosophy, with tools that you can stick together and make them do wonderful things, even though they're simple things by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I like all of your views on this. I really appreciate talking to you, and I think I talked to I talked to at least one person, along the lines of what's going on and for the interviews. But I think that we're gonna take forever on this. So
yeah.
We aren't saying that more features is bad. We're just saying that putting them all together is going to be hard, and might not actually do the things that we want them to. So if we can do fewer things and do them really well, maybe we'll have a better system in the end, and something that people can really cling to, trust, appreciate, and respect, because it respects them back.
Yeah. One thing I want to add with that is that phones are also something that is essential to this day in life. It is technically essential for life. Like, you are depending on it to be able to kind 911 if something happens and stuff like that. And those are the things that we should really make 100%.
Those are things that should work really well. Like, we aren't saying that being able to call 911 is a bad thing, so don't misconstrue us there.
Yeah, but to do the things that a phone does today and do it really well. Let's end it at that. But let's not add any bells and whistles just because we want to add bells or whistles. Like, less parts is good parts.
and then we have Lumiri being able to run in other places where it can do other things better.
Yeah.
Lumiri on a laptop can do a heck of a lot more than a Canon Nexus 5. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Exactly. Tool for the right job.
This is it's really interesting seeing chat talk about like the right tools for the right job and like what's going on, and 911 and ordering pizza are both essential. Good point. Good point. Wait for brain implant devices. I'm not going that far.
Neuralink. Let's have Neuralink implemented in our phones so we can access call 911 using Neuralink to order pizza.
Oh my god.
And people saying that because Ubuntu Touch was broken and I didn't have mobile data, I found that I was able to talk to people more. Like, yeah, that's the thing. Is it sounds really bad, but
it's a feature.
The future is broken phones. I don't know. Just better designed phones that respect the user. Yeah.
Better designed phone. Less part is good part.
Look like a modded Wii. Oh no.
Oh my god.
It's probably already due. My brain
jeez, the WBFS failed to start again.
Let's bring you two to Mars.
Marius.
Well, Linux is technically on Mars already, but not Ubuntu Touch. But Linux is there. Some of my code are on Mars. Just to bring that out.
Florian, do you want to do the thing?
All right. So there is one thing that I want to talk to you with you today, and that's also around that 100 Q&As and what I talked before about what are the potential challenges for the future, what I'm going to do. It's like I will probably take as a break from appearing on the Q&As so regularly that I'm doing now. Means I will not be on probably most of the Q&As in the next, let's say, at least months, because there is so much going on behind the scenes, what I said before, and it's dragging a lot of my time into it, and I need to find a little bit more balance. And now it seems a little bit ridiculous to say, okay, well, there is only 1 hour every 2 weeks on the Saturdays that you have to step on the Q&A and be nice and talk with people and so on. It's a little more than that. And you also have to prepare yourself a little bit. You have to look around, also to grab some news stuff you want to do. It occupies a time on the weekend where I say I really need to recharge batteries. And I want to just go into the weekend sometimes on Fridays, completely switch off, be there, and then on Monday start over again. Because from Monday to Friday, sometimes there are things happening. Like I'm now sometimes on calls with people outside of Ubuntu Touch, not just with the regular guys here.
Some really cool stuff, by the way.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff, but their meetings are sometimes 5, 6, or even 7 p.m. It's hard to manage with family because I have also my day job, and so I decided to say, okay, before it gets too heavy and I really have to force myself, or how to say, to quickly jump ship, I just announced to say, okay, don't be afraid, you won't see me on the Q&A so much anymore. Probably also a little bit reduced Telegram time, because I don't know, 300 Telegram chats and channels are just very, very much distracting sometimes. So there will be times when I'm just not replying to stuff, or I will not be there. But fear not, because the background work is the one that is now important this year and probably also the next year. And there are things really there that need attention from us now. If we grab them now, I think we have a good chance of doing what I said before. Just widen our horizon, widen our field where we can do stuff. And that should
of course,
be handled,
if anything exciting does happen with your work, we're going to announce it right here.
Yeah.
We do this every couple weeks, so there's always plenty of time to talk about the cool things that
Sure.
Florian's been doing.
If there's really something, I will jump in and say, okay, guys, please let me on the Q&A again. I have super wonderful messages, and I think at least 2 or 3 of that kind will appear this year. So yeah.
Thank you, Florian, for everything that you do. Thank you for joining us for so long.
You're welcome, of course.
It's always a treat getting to talk to you.
Thank
we'll
you,
see
guys.
you soon, all right?
Yes, true.
All right. I'd also like to thank everyone else who helped make this episode possible, including the people who we interviewed for the interview for the love letter to the community, for Marius at NerdZoom for helping us edit, to you three for joining me. Florian, please take care of yourself.
Of course, no worries.
And just, I'd also like to thank Nigel, our coordinator of announcements, and Lionel, our wonderful note taker. That's the UBports Q&A production team. Hey, if you liked what we were talking about here and want to see if your device is supported, I swear not all of them are broken in ways that I was talking about. We really do have well-working devices. To see if your device is supported, you can go to devices.ubuntu-touch.io. And if yours isn't on the list, it's going to need a custom image made for it. You can go to the porting documentation at docs.ubports.com/porting to learn more. Hey, the fun doesn't stop here, and wow, this was pretty long. You can talk to us on all sorts of different social media, including Facebook, Twitter, PixelFed, Mastodon, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We also have news channels in Matrix and Telegram if you just want to get stuff that we're doing directly in your chat client. You can also chat with us. We would love to talk with you. I would love people to talk with about, to bounce ideas off of what I've been thinking about doing, reading Irresistible again and reading Digital Minimalism just it got me excited for stuff. You can chat with us on Matrix or Telegram, #UBports and @UBports respectively. Or you can find us on our forum for longer form content, and also where you can ask questions for these Q&A episodes. All of them, except for this one. That's over at forums.ubports.com. Again, a huge thank you to our production team. A huge thank you to everyone who helped us make the love letter to the community. And thank you, Florian, Marius, Alfred, for joining me.
Thanks, Dalton.
Thank you too, Dalton.
You're the best moderator that we ever had. The best host.
I'm the only moderator you've ever had.
Oh.
Thank you, everyone, and we will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe. We would really appreciate it. Bye.
Slap the like.